Apart from the fact that I have been using some fringe characters, you might have noticed something else in my last 2 or 3 videos, which is that my gameplay is not lagging as much. And there's something else if you pay attention that you'll notice as well, which we're going to be talking about in this video. So in terms of lag in Injustice 2 Mobile specifically, there are 3 major causes: your processor, heat, and your latency. So let's start with the processor. The best processors to enjoy this game to the fullest extent is the Snapdragon processors, preferably the 800 series. So Snapdragon 800, I think so 700, I think 720G, so some 700 processors, you can enjoy the game to the fullest. Anything below that, you have to make some compromise. For MediaTek processors, the best one are the G series. They are gaming processors, like the one on my phone is the G85. But the thing is that the game is not fully optimized for my processor. So if you are using the G series, you still have to make some compromise. So when you have a mid-tier device to a low-tier device, what are the compromises you can make? You can turn off damage numbers and you can turn off sound. In the case of the G processors for MediaTek, I suggest that you turn off only sound. Because if you notice in my last few videos, I only had to turn off sound to have smooth gameplay. So even while I'm recording, mind you, so you don't really have to turn off damage numbers. But there are some devices that are weaker, then you have to turn off damage numbers to help reduce the stress on the processor. And also make sure no other app is running in the background to save your RAM and all the processor's power for the Injustice 2 Mobile. So the second one is heat. If you are playing this game, especially if you are from Nigeria or India or any country that have a very hot climate, then you should try and play the game under air-conditioned situations, or you play the game with maybe having a table fan or something close to your phone, or use a game. There are some game coolers that you can find on Amazon that you can connect to your phone and it will help to cool your device. Because when your device heats up, it doesn't really matter what kind of processor you have. You're not going to have the best experience on Injustice 2 Mobile. So you have to make sure you're in a cool environment and your gameplay will go as well as possible. So the final one is latency. So latency might not be a very common term you know about. And the latency has to do with your network. It's one of the parameters to determine a good network. So what most of you are familiar with is network speed. But the truth is that in Injustice 2 Mobile, you don't even need more than 10 megabytes per second to have a good experience in terms of the speed. But when it comes to latency has to do with how long it takes for your device to send a data packet from your phone to the server and back. So since Injustice 2 Mobile is an internet-based game, it needs to send data packets, it needs to send information from your phone to Injustice 2 servers and back. So you can have very high speed. You can have 120 megabits per second. You can have 200 megabits per second, but have bad latency. So latency, that was for it is ping, and the appropriate number should be for Injustice 2 Mobile. Any number between 130 milliseconds to 150 milliseconds is quite okay. So you can check this by going to fast.com. You allow fast.com to check check your internet parameters, and you see there. So if you have a number between 130 and 150, you are good. Any number above that, you are going to have some problems. That's when you see your game freezing and all that. It doesn't really have to do with the speed. It has to do with the latency. So what is the solution to that? Number one, you can either change your service provider or you can watch the time. Latency has certain times that it has better speed. So for me, my latency improves early in the morning, like around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, which was why I even had to change my league to a league that starts around that time so I can play it and enjoy it with good latency. But for you, it might be different. So you just have to use fast.com, check different times of the day. When do you have the best latency? Then you can save your raids and your solo raids for those times. But Arena, you can play Arena anytime. Even with a little lag, you can still go through Arena and Champions Arena. That's about it for the video, guys. If you found this video useful, smash the subscribe button and I will see you on the next one.